All right, we are back. Firstly, my apologies for the lighting. It is the best I can do for the time being, but while I was away, we had some major news break in college sports. So I made a video back in June looking at what the Big Ten schedule is going to look like for 2024 and 2025 and analyzing who the Buckeyes will play. And then when the news broke that Washington and Oregon will be joining the conference in 2024 in the Big Ten, that video has been made completely irrelevant. The information from that can likely just be tossed out the window. Now, they gave the schedule some kind of stupid name. Maybe they'll keep the stupid marketing name. But as far as the information from that video I made back in June, yeah, crumple it up, toss it in the trash, burn it. It's been made completely irrelevant. And trying to decipher what the schedule could be in the Big Ten for the next few years, at least at this point in whatever kind of realignment changes happening, that's going to be fruitless because you can almost guarantee that there is going to be more movement. There's already rumors about Florida State wanting out of the ACC and going somewhere else. So nothing is concrete at this point. Now, while I do want to say that I do personally feel bad for the fans of some of these teams that are kind of stuck in limbo right now from realignment, especially the teams that are still in the Pac-12 right now, kind of seemingly to be left holding the bag, teams like Stanford and Oregon State. Fans of these teams should not be having to worry about a conference's negotiations with media companies, whether they'll get a deal done with NBC on Peacock, or if they're entertaining a deal from the CW. Fans should not have to be worrying about that kind of thing. So in that aspect, I do feel bad for fans of those schools. And with Utah and both Arizona and Arizona State, I believe, rumored to be headed to the Big 12, I mean, the Pac-12 is essentially dead in the water as of recording this video. Although, again, things could change in a heartbeat, and maybe the Pac-12 could pull some miracle comeback, kind of like the Big 12 has with adding schools. But right now, it looks like it's going to be too little too late for the Pac-12. And if you kind of enjoy how college football has been for recent memory, enjoy this season as much as possible, because starting in 2024, it's going to become pretty unrecognizable. I'm not sure if it's going to be better or worse, but it's definitely going to be a whole lot different. Now, what this could mean for the team that I cheer for in Ohio State, I mean, that home and home with Washington, you have to think that's back on the schedule, right? Unfortunately, it won't be in time before the current Huskies quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., makes his return to the Big Ten. This will be his final NCAA season. He will be, I'm assuming he's going to be declaring for the draft. I don't think he's going to quit football, but, Michael Penix will not be back. I remember his time in Indiana where he had a stellar season, and he's done pretty well for himself in Washington as well. We'll be seeing Oregon again sooner rather than later. You could say maybe it's a chance for revenge, although if you're getting a little nervous about where Ohio State is headed, maybe you're kind of feeling a bit more nervous about Oregon coming in again after what we saw a couple years ago with them. There are going to be a lot more interesting matchups in the Big Ten schedule for the Buckeyes starting in 2024, and for all the Big Ten teams, to be quite honest. And while a lot of these moves are motivated by college football deals, because that is what pays most of the university's bills or makes them the most money, is this good for college football, especially college athletics as a whole when you look at it? I'm not so sure, as again, this does seem to be operated almost solely by football interests. And while, again, that does bring in the majority of a university's money, that is the main motivation here, there are a lot of other sports that could end up a lot worse off from these moves. I understand maybe the argument could be that, well, if we get more money from joining a conference that could give us more money, we could help fund these, non-revenue sports a little bit better. But then at some point, maybe if you realize, oh, we're sending our cross-country team literally across the country to compete in these events, and we could save a lot more money on travel if we just cut the cross-country team. Maybe that's something that happens. Sports that don't make really much revenue, I hear them being called Olympic sports as well. Some of these sports are going to get the short end of the stick when it comes to, oh yeah, we joined a conference that, in case of like Washington and Oregon, we joined the Big Ten, where the majority of the schools are going to be way across the country, and now we don't really want to spend all the money that we'd have to in order to transport all of our athletes from one place to the other back and forth all the time, so we're going to have to cut a few sports. I do feel like that is a very realistic possibility that, to be quite honest, is just going to get swept to the wayside because, well, we got to make football money, which, again, from a numbers and a business standpoint, I understand. But when you're, a lot of these athletic directors and school presidents will be like, oh, it's all about the students and our student athletes, and furthering their lives as well as their athletic careers, when we can tell that by these moves it's just kind of based on who can get us the most money. So again, like I said earlier, the team that I cheer for in Ohio State, I know they're going to be in a good spot, so I can't really relate to teams like, to fans of teams anyway, like Oregon State or Stanford or where those teams are. I just wanted to acknowledge that for some fans, this might not be positive changes happening in the very near future. But thank you all for watching. If you made it this far into the video, leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it and you would like to see more like it. Let me know down in the comments what you think about conference realignment down in the comments below. Thank you once again for watching. If you made it this far into it, I will see you at the next one.